Yeah. We are so pleased to have all of you with us today, and we can give a big round of applause for Nate from Tebow Moving and Storage. He's going to speak just a few minutes.
Please eat bagels, because I like bagels, but not that much. And you know, those leftovers. But no, yeah, we're Tebow Moving and Storage. We have 2 offices, and one in Marysville and one in Woodland. We're an agent for Stevens Worldwide Van Lines, which is nationally approved with Keller Williams. So that's kind of a big deal. They're the only mover that's nationwide with Keller Williams.
That's huge.
We're actually going to be at Mega Camp, so if anyone goes, yeah, check out the Stevens booth. They're going to do a whole bunch of cool stuff and giveaways for everybody. So yeah, we're a moving company, and they usually get a bad rap, but for us it's personal because I'm the guy out there doing it. It's kind of like you meeting with your clients. Like when I meet with them, we call them shippers in our industry. It's personal for me. I stay in contact with them, make sure everything goes right. So it's not just I book it and forget about it. You know, we make sure they're taken care of, and we do everything, small moves, big moves, nationwide. We actually moved the previous occupants of this office, the North Central Counties Consortium, before you guys moved in here, so we do office moves. So anything you need, please pick up a brochure or a card and give me a call, and let me take care of your clients too.
A buyer of mine yesterday asked, who do I know that I would trust to move her from Hidden Valley Lake to Ligo? But it's not happening all at once.
Sure.
She has to get her stuff loaded up.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to be able to get into her home in Ligo
okay.
Until the 14th of August.
Yep. We do storage, long-term, short-term.
Okay, so I'm going to give you her phone number and
Okay.
then you call her.
Definitely.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Nate. Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
So we got Grass Valley in the house. And without further ado, we were going to introduce our regional director, Mr. Tony Brody.
Good. Oh, there was some concern that I wasn't going to make it today because I got to spend the night in Chico last night.
Party down.
Party now. But I got here and I'm going to Tahoe after that. So that's good. After today. So, Yuba, good to be here. How y'all doing?
Good.
How's the market?
Good.
All right, so what I want to do today, I'm going to hit on a couple topics, and I want to make this a Q&A and stuff, but if you have pen and paper, get that out. If not, borrow from your neighbor, do something, write notes on your phone, because I want to leave you with a lot of value today, okay? And I want to give you information that's going to help you with your listings and buyers, but I also want to kind of give you some leadership production concepts, but before we get into that, I want to talk about kind of the state of Keller Williams, the state of the region, and take this and go share your story. And when I say share your story, you can use it to build your business, but you can also use this to build wealth through profit share. And I'll talk a little bit about that as well. All right, Keller Williams International now. We're in 49 states in Canada, and we have the rights to 10 countries.
What state aren't you in?
We're in South Dakota.
Oh.
Yeah, makes sense why, right? Right? In Canada, the rights to 10 countries, okay? We currently are the largest real estate company in the world, okay? Per National Association of Realtors, we're the fastest growing company in the history of real estate, okay? Now, here's the difference. Here's what you need to understand. Are we a publicly traded company?
No.
No. So the growth, we're the only national company that reports to the agents, not to Wall Street. Meaning the growth has been purely education focused. You guys are crushing it in business, and you turn around and tell other people about our company, and you get rewarded through a concept called profit share. So it's very organic. Does that make sense? We're projected, so we have 117,000 agents now worldwide. We're projected by 2020 to have 250,000 agents and be in 60 countries. Okay? I mean, we're just getting started. So Gary, we'll talk about it at Mega Camp for those who are going. By the way, if you're not, it's not too late. It's a great opportunity. We'll talk about that in a bit. But we're about 40% of the way there as a company worldwide. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're just getting started. Now, the region. You're part of the great region of Northern California and another state called Hawaii. If anybody wants to go to Hawaii, it's a great write-off opportunity because we now have one in Kauai, Maui, 2 in Maui, about to get approved, and then another one in the big ones in Oahu. I'm serious. Go and you can write off the whole trip and go visit those market centers. Our region consists of, you get up here in Chico, Yuba, then you go all the way east over to Tahoe. We don't have an office in Tahoe. One of the reasons I'm going tonight is I got a meeting with a merger for tomorrow morning to get back in that area. Then we have, as most of you know, we have 5 offices in the Sacramento area, right? Roseville, Sac, Elk Grove, Folsom, missing one. Fair Oaks, right. And then we're working on Fairfield, Vacaville. You get down to East Bay, we obviously have got Danville, Walnut Creek, Pleasanton, Stockton, Modesto, Tracy. We go all the way down to Fresno. And then we have offices now in San Francisco. Launch should be done in 2 months. Core groups together, they're all coming to Mega Camp. So we're gonna have a big office in the city. And then we come all the way down, we got Burlingame, San Carlos, Menlo Park, Palo Alto, 2 in San Jose, Los Gatos, working on Los Altos launch. And then we go all the way down, we have one in Santa Cruz, we have one in Carmel, and then we have the ones in Hawaii. So the reason I share this is the more you come to events, we now have 4,100 agents and 29 offices. Put this in perspective. 2 years ago, as a region, we had 2,400 agents. So we've grown by like roughly 80% in the last 2 years in growth. Does that make sense? So there's 32 regions, we have 4,100 agents, and it's been exponential. Now, I want to give you some categories. When I say this, we're halfway through the year and the market's good. And a lot of times, how many have been in the business more than a year? Okay, great. I want you to use these and I want you to benchmark how your business is doing year over year versus the region. Okay, now, wonderful leadership team here has trend reports, and I would encourage you, if you haven't, make sure we get them out to them on these 8 categories, on the language of real estate. And for those who've been in the business less than a year, I want you to use this in an advantage when you're working with listings and buyers, because the numbers are staggering. And by the way, we're watching, when I talk with Peter and Justin and Leanne and Cal, all you guys, the great leadership team, your year-over-year story in this office is fantastic, right?
Yep.
It is good. It's just getting started. So, all right, what are your business? There's 8 categories you need to focus on. First one is called closed units, right? Closed units as a region, we're up 18.4%. Now, what you need to do is compare that number to the market center, compare that number to the local market, to the board. Peter, do they have access to that here? Can you all pull that? Okay. So what?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. So now, are you outperforming the local board? Are you outperforming the market? Are you outperforming the region? You want to see is your personal business outpacing? Because if it's not, we call this a shadow market. Meaning, I always ask the question: what is your profit hiding? If you're doing well, that's great, but could we be doing better? We want to chase the rabbit that's the highest to outperform it. Does that make sense? Okay? So you need to know what training do I need to implement or systems to break through that. Now, closed units leads to what? Closed volume. That's the second category you want to track. And that's the second category in the language of real estate. As a year, the region is up 27.4%. 27.4% in volume. Now, as an agent, is it more important to focus on units or volume? What would you think?
Unit.
Units, because volume a lot of time is typically a byproduct of the market and the units that you do. So it's a unit game, right? Okay, the third category, and Peter, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, but as an agent, what do you think the most important category is in real estate that we got to track? Listings taken.
Oh, yes, yes.
Would you agree? Right? Especially in the Keller Williams philosophy, because we believe if you work hard to get listings, where do the leads go?
You.
To you. Is that true of every company?
No.
No. Most of them, they come to the broker and they sell them back to the agent, right? So listings is the game. Listings taken for the year, we're up 13.7%. 13.7. How are you doing in that category? Listings taken leads to volume. Volume is up 19.9%. These are regional numbers, okay? This is 4,100 agents in 29 different markets. Now we go to listings sold. This is the fifth category in the language of real estate. For the year, listings sold are up 20.7%. Okay? Listings sold volume, which is the sixth category, is up 28.1. 28.1. And then contracts written. Future business, future income category?
Yep.
This is huge. In addition, I would star this one. For the year, the region's up 21.5%. Volume is up 30. Volume is up 30. Okay. That's the 8 categories of the language of real estate. So this is something Leanne at every sales meeting moving forward is going to be able to share with you, especially after transmittal and trend reports, on how your market center is doing, how the region's doing, and you can benchmark your business on that. Now, a couple other thoughts. Gross commission income. Agents are up in Keller Williams in the region are up for the year 27%. That means our agents are making 27% more money through the 6 months this year than last year. By the way, that destroys the competition. Does that make sense? And I would love to see what that looks like here locally. And then the other thing you want to look at, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, is profit share. Profit share for the region is up 34.3%. International is up this year so far. Profit share, Keller Williams International has shared $64 million in profits back to the agents. Okay? So we're on track to do about $130 million in what we call endorsement money. And I'm gonna go over that in a minute. So before I get into the 6 personal perspectives and profit share, I want to pause and any questions on the model, state of the region, where we are as a company, where we're headed as a company, worldwide expansion. Here's the deal. We have to do a great job of telling the story of Keller Williams in your story because we believe that you're the brand, not the company. Does that make sense? The reason why Gary Keller founded this company, because 86% of buyers and sellers every single year, NAR research shows that your buyers and sellers don't give a flip
About where you work.
about where you work.
I know that.
Cheryl, would you agree with that?
Well, because I've worked everywhere and it's made no difference to my business.
Yeah. So I want y'all to think about that. Every other company believes that they're the brand. We're the only national company that believes that you're the brand. People do business because of you.
Relationship.
Yes, they don't care who you're with. So everything that you're seeing in this wonderful new, by the way, I love your new office.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Everything you're seeing here is all focused on you, in your image, in your branding, in your reputation. And when you provide great training and support the agent, the company will take care of itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is why we're open books. This is why we share profits. This is why we have an ALC, right? Because you're in this with
Those people who don't know what an ALC is.
an ALC is the board of directors for each office. They're the agent leadership council. They make decisions with the team leader and Peter and the OP, with Leanne and Justin, that's best for everybody. And Cal, right? So you all work together as a team. Do you get that in other models? No. You have a voice in what's going on. So, all right, I think that's cool. I think that's cool that the ownership group here and the team leader here reports to the agents, not to Wall Street.
Right.
That makes sense?
Right.
Mhm.
That's just a different game. Okay, now, by the way, I'm 20 cups deep. I'm revved up. Like my drive from Chico, I woke up after maybe a few drinks last night, and I got like I gotta go. So okay.
You need to use the restroom.
What? Here we go. All right, I'm gonna walk you through. Is there a clicker? I just
There
need to get
is.
to the other. I think there's only 2 slides on this.
I think the clicker just died.
Oh, no.
I just need the other. Okay. Yeah, that's all I need. I think. Yeah. All right. This is the highest level of business practice leadership principle I've ever seen. This is it's called the 6 personal perspectives, and we put this in Keller Williams training. But honestly, you could put this into every area of your business and your life. I love this. Okay. And so I'm going to walk you through this. This will probably take about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to do profit share. Then I'm going to leave you with some thoughts. Okay. So when you follow these steps, now, one thing you need to know is on the 6 personal perspectives, they're sequential. This isn't a la carte, meaning you can't take step 5 and implement into your life or business before you do step 1. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
All right. So I'm going to go through this and kind of create a training opportunity for each of you in this. The first step is called committing to self-mastery. Now, in real estate, what would that be? What would you think is what's the one thing you need to master? Here's the question. What's the one thing you need to master in real estate where everything else will become easier or unnecessary?
Lead generation.
Thank you. Great answer. Okay, so I want you to commit to self-mastery. Write the word lead generation. Are you nailing prospecting and overcoming objections on generating leads? And here's the next question. Does your schedule in your calendar right now in alignment to master that? Meaning if I were to look at your phone right now and see on Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday, every morning from 8 to 10, is it blocked for 2 hours of lead generating? Let's be honest. No. Okay? All right? So this is why I'm here today. This is the game. 2 hours a day. I'm telling you. Okay, I'm going to give you some evidence to back this up. Gary Keller has his own research center in Waco, Texas, and Baylor. He interviewed, it said the research shows that the top 1% earners in NAR, that's over 1 million agents. So what's 1% of the top 10,000 agents in the country have one common trait, number 1 in common. They lead generate for at least 2 hours a day. Does this make sense? I mean, unequivocally, uninterrupted, that's what they do. Okay? So my question is does your schedule in alignment with that? And if you're new in this business, and Gary Keller talks about this, he says, if you just wake up every day and by 12 o'clock, your day is over. You're not over, but I'm just saying you just focus on that one thing, the rest of your day is going to take care of itself because you're going to be flooded with what? Listings and buyers.
Mhm.
Oh, that doesn't suck. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like, so anything you get from me today, say this Tony guy is just revved up on coffee and is ready, fired up, talking to you. Yes, that is true. But second, nail that. Peter, am I wrong?
100% right up here, sir.
Self-mastery. Okay, yeah, perfect.
Boom.
What's that?
You gotta do lead generation every day.
Every single day, right? And by the way, 2 hours seems like a lot in the beginning.
It is
Start with 30 minutes. No, I'm serious. I'd rather see 30 minutes a day, every single day for 5 days a week for a month.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to what? An hour. Right? Don't come to me and say, I can't, if you say, commit to something that you're actually going to do. That makes sense?
Mhm.
And then move up, get that habit and then move up. A lot of people say 3 hours, and in reality is they hit or miss. Do whatever you commit to every single day. All right. By the way, if I give you a quote and I don't know the name of the person who gave the quote, I always default to Steve Jobs. So, right? Just being full transparent. So if I say it doesn't mean I have no freaking clue. So I heard from Steve Jobs that he said something. It was actually Bruce Lee on this one. Bruce Lee said, I fear the man that has mastered one kick 10,000 times than the man who has 10,000 kicks. Does that make sense?
It does.
I fear, and it's so true. I mean, that is the, what are you mastering to? What's the one thing? All right, second step. You've done that. Now what we got to do is committing to the 80-20 principle. Most of you are familiar with that, correct? 20% of what you do will help you get 80% of your results. Well, that's just alignment right there. So Gary Keller says if you're not doing one of 5 things, you're not maximizing your money as an agent. So let's walk through those 5 things, okay? That's your 20% of agents. First is lead generating. Second is going on listing appointments. The third thing would be showing buyers. I would challenge that, though. When you get to a certain level, you should never show buyers again. You hire the right way through Recruit Select, because is it more time efficient to work on listings or buyers?
Listings.
Absolutely. That's a whole other class that I teach called Recruit Select. Okay? And then there's the fourth thing would be negotiating contracts. And then the fifth thing would be training and developing your team. If you're not doing, or coaching your team, if you're not doing one of those 5 things, Gary Keller says you are in non-dollar producing activities. You're just doing the junk. That makes sense? Now I recognize you still got to do the junk, but my challenge to you is do that at the end of the day. After you've done 2 hours of lead generating, you're out there just crushing it on one of those 5 activities. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. Okay? So that's the Pareto principle, the 80-20. Now, step 3 is this. I'll just do it right here. It's this concept called moving from E to P. And I'm going to walk you through this. Does anybody know what that means?
Entrepreneurial to purposeful.
Yeah, moving from entrepreneurial to purposeful. So this let me roll through this. Walk through this. So entrepreneurial, if you did this little T chart or chart like that, E stands for entrepreneur. Another word I like to use for E is the word energy. It's your natural energy. You could also say it's also your natural enthusiasm. This is who you are naturally behavior. No matter what your natural behavior is in this room, we all have this energy that takes us so far naturally, and what happens is you're eventually going to hit a ceiling of achievement. So we call this a wall or ceiling of achievement. Now, for those who are new in the business, you have a great opportunity. The fact that you're going to learn these principles before others who've been in the business a long time and had to fail their way forward, which is great too, okay? But what happens, maybe I was the only one when I was in sales, but what happened when you get in the business? You get a couple deals, right? You get excited, and you woke up every day and you're actively seeking new business, and what happens to your career? An income. It comes like this. And then 30 to 60 days later, after you're working on those deals, what happens? What's the first thing you do in the morning instead of looking for new business?
Work on that.
You work on those deals. You're dealing with crud. Title, mortgage, home, not vendors. Any vendors in the room? Not crud. You got to get it done, but you're dealing with problems to keep that transaction together. Am I right? Yep. And then you have to go home and tell your spouse or significant other the reason why you don't have contracts and closing the next 60 to 90 days, and Christmas might be a little bit different this year. True? Yeah. And then so what happens to your business? You go down, you have resignation, maybe a little bit of withdrawal, and then what happens is you get back into Bold or Ignite or training with Leanne, training with people, training with the leadership team. Productivity, you get a coach, you get fired up again. What happens? You're back on it. Got some deals, and then same system, right? Can anybody relate? Right? So next thing you know, you have a business and in a lot of cases a life that has this peaks and valleys. Because can business infiltrate the other areas of your life? True or false?
Yes.
Very true.
All the time, right? So the question is, as a business, how do you break through these ups and downs? Right? So we call it from going entrepreneurial to being on P, being purposeful. Now, another word I like to use for purposeful, painful. This is lifting a weight for me for the first time in 6 months, or going to the gym or going for a 5-mile run, right? It hurts. It's not fun, but is there great results when you do it over time and consistency? Yeah, it is painful. In a way, for many of you, your business will go backwards because what happens is you got to work on your business instead of in it and to break through that ceiling of achievement. Now, another word for P could be, I would put profits. This is where the magic happens. Profitable businesses and profitable relationships. Now, so that's the terminology. So what specifically do you have to do to break through the ceiling of achievement? There's 2 things. One, you run your business off models and systems. Listen, Gary Keller has given you the biggest gift that anybody, call it plug and play, and it's a book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. If you could take the second thing from today, in addition to committing self-mastery, is get all in with that book. Listen, it's the real estate buy. Do not, I always call it, table your entrepreneurial spirit. We all have it. You're going to think you can do this game a little bit different. You think you can hire different. You think this model, that doesn't work here in the smaller market in Yuba. Crap. It works. It's a system and it's a model. The more you just immerse yourself into the training, I mean, I love, you guys have got all the stuff here. It's perfect. Jump into the systems and the models and let that leverage, let that do the work for you. Does that make sense? The more our top agents, Gary Keller, the top 100 agents in our company, all have one thing in common. They plug and play. They let the system do the work for you. So it works. Gary's done all the research. So one, get it focused on the models and systems in the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. There's other books too, the One Thing, Shift, all those systems. And 2, the second thing is a lot of people, what you think about in your business is, what do I have to do specifically to break through this natural ceiling? The question isn't a what, it's a who. Meaning, who do I need to hire in many of your cases, or who do I need to hire as my coach or my accountability to help me become the best that I can be? You see, time management, you ever hear that word? I'm not good at time management. You're not good at time management because there's no such thing as time management. Let me explain. How many hours in a day? 24. How many hours in a day tomorrow?
24.
You can't manage time. Does that make sense? We can't change to time. I've never known a day that's been longer or shorter. Let me know when that happens, right? Except for the daylight savings, whatever, right? But it's 24 hours a day. It's like we know Thanksgiving, it's coming. You can't manage time, but what can you manage? Your priorities. Your priorities. These first 2 things. That's why these 2 become before E to P. That makes sense? So time management, he talks about that in the One Thing. It's a myth. There's no such thing as time management. It's what you're focusing on. So in addition to that, for those who are looking to build a team or aspire to build a team, I'm teaching a class. It's going to be August 11th. We'll resend it, but it's called Recruit Select.
Word on.
Okay. It got moved back a week, just full transparency, because of Inman. Inman is coming to San Francisco this year. And we have the president and all of them coming in. So those dates may change. We're going to send it out, but don't worry, we teach it all the time, okay? But it's a week later. But it's Gary Keller says, your success in real estate is in direct proportion to who you surround yourself with and who you hire and who you're in business with. So now, when you nail these first two things, right? He says, go create chaos. Like, don't worry about anything else. Just go create a disaster of a business. Isn't that a little bit different? I mean, just go lead generate and be a mess. You have so many buyers and sellers, and then we're going to put systems and models behind that and hire a great EA for you. You're going to go out and hire that great assistant to break through that next ceiling of achievement. Does that make sense? Nail this first two, and everything else will fall in place. Okay. 4, making learning based the foundation of your action plan. Let me ask you a question. Is this Oakland Raider country or 49er?
49ers.
49ers. Cowboys.
Who said Cowboys? I'm from Dallas originally. I'm a Texas boy, y'all. Right? Cowboys, Bill Romo's going to win the Super Bowl this year in Santa Clara, in your backyard. Cannot wait. All right. Well, I choose to like winners, so let's go with the 49ers.
Yeah.
That's a shot at Oakland.
It is. We take it.
So, okay. All right. But the best example I can give you, actually, I'll go somebody on the East Coast, is I read an article about Tom Brady. Okay? Now, whatever y'all think about him, Deflategate, most women are like, oh, yeah, Tom Brady. So it was a Men's Health article. Tom Brady's 39 years old. Okay? Arguably, him or Joe Montana is the best quarterbacks in the history of the game. I think that's hands down.
Yeah.
Right? And he's 39. Now, how many quarterbacks have been successful at the age of 40 or above?
Not very many.
Not very many.
At all.
Zero. And they asked him a question. They said, Tom, how much longer do you intend to play? Now, you got to understand, Tom Brady has every playoff record, Super Bowl record, top 5 in every passing category, whatever, already regarded in the best ever. And he says, I intend to play into my mid to late 40s. And if you watched him play last year, was he at the peak of his game? It's incredible. And they asked him a question, what makes you thinking that way? And he says, because I wake up every single day in the off season, and I get to the facility in Foxborough, and I'm always seeking somebody who I can go learn from. He's learning based. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He is all in on education. Everybody in this room to me right now is learning based because why you're here. That's awesome, right? The more you get learning based, the more these systems are going to work. Now, Diana Kokoschka, most of you probably know who she is. She's the head of all of training for Keller Williams. Okay? If you don't know this, Keller Williams got recognized as the #1 training company, not just in real estate, not just in the United States, but of all industries across the world. Don't realize that? This is where you are. You're the #1. This is, and people are like, well, what validated that? Well, it's a company called Training Organization Magazine. Like, that's what all you do is study it. So you're part of the #1 training organization in the world. Well, Diane, you think she's at the top of her game? Guess who her coach is? Who does she report to? Gentleman by the name of John Maxwell.
Yes.
Anybody heard his name? The leadership guru. That's her boss, so to speak. That's who coaches Diana. She learning based?
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow. She's taken this company into training to a whole new level. And she does that. By the way, FYI, little history note. John Maxwell requires, he's the second highest in the world when he speaks at a company for an hour and a half to 2 hours. He demands like $300,000 speaking engagement. Guess who #1 is? Who do you think demands the highest amount of speaking when they come visit?
Tony Robbins?
Not Tony. That's a great answer though. Not Robbins. He's up there. Bill Clinton. And you have to say Bill, not Hillary, because it's, no comment. Bill Clinton's the #1, right? Isn't that crazy? John Maxwell, Bill Clinton still has that. No comment. Okay, so number 5, remove your okay, does that make sense? Be learning based, action plan. Now we go to step 5, remove your limiting beliefs. This is all about the way you think. The way you think. What are some limiting beliefs? Let me just throw this out there.
Can't do it in this local market.
Oh my gosh, Justin,
Oh, yeah.
do y'all hear that? This market's too small, there's not enough listings available. That won't work here. Good, what else?
I'm too busy to prospect.
I'm too busy to prospect. They're limiting beliefs. What else? I don't have the time to hire the right way or invest. I don't have the money. I don't have, okay?
Too shy.
Too shy. Not enough business out there. Okay.
Jan would say that.
All right. What are some examples of some unlimiting beliefs? Okay.
I can do this today.
This is my, I can do this today, good. Y'all just spun out 3 or 4 right off the bat, limited thoughts. And when I go into unlimited thinking, there's a pause. How are you thinking, right? What are you allowing in your mind? What's your mindset as you dominate this local market moving forward, right? So this is such a big deal in lead generating and everything. I hear this market in other markets and even say, hey, oh, this won't work here. It's too much. Well, I don't have time. The reality is when you focus on your one thing in 2 hours of limited, there's unlimited amount of market share here. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yep. I mean, just dominate it. Well, when you focus on hiring and learning through a system and a model how to make that when I nail it on the front end, hiring, I'll have the amount of abundance in life and business and profits on the back end. I don't know about you, but I want to nail it today so I can have an amazing life tomorrow. Right? Same thing. So it's just, what are you allowing in? What's your mindset? Step 6, the last one on the 6th person is be accountable. Here's the reality. Talent seeks accountability. Talent seeks accountability. So if you currently do not have a coach, I want you to put on a vision board to eventually get there. Okay? You need to have somebody in this office that's going to hold you accountable to your results. And honestly, I would start right here. It could be Leanne. It could be a peer partner. It's something that, and you need to, what I would do is put some pain to that. Say, I am committing to lead generating starting off an hour a day or 30 minutes, whatever it is, every single day. And I'm going to text you every day when I'm done. And if I don't do it, every day I don't do it, I'll give you a check. I'll write you a check for $100.
Wow, yeah.
But don't catch it.
Why, you're gonna do it, right? Are you accountable person? Cash it, and there's no, yeah, that's fine. I get it. I get it. But think about that. Right, what's your average sales price? Here, $250, so it's basically $6,000 commission capped, right? So let's say it's $6,000. So are you willing to do the one thing that every call you make leads toward a $6,000 transaction for a $100 pain?
It's a pretty good investment.
That's a pretty good investment.
Yeah.
I think even if you miss it a couple times, you can miss it 10 times, 1,000, or, I mean, does that make sense?
I mean, I think people don't know who to call. I mean, I think they would do it if they knew who to call. I think that whenever they lead generate, they just say lead generate. They don't say, okay, well, does it have to be expired? Does it have to be for sale by owners? Who do you call?
Well, okay, that's a whole nother class. There's so many different ways to lead generate and everything. This is why you need a coach. Coach will walk you through. I mean, you got your sphere of influence, expired, for sale by owners. You got your Facebook. There's so many different ways to do it. People ask me, well, I don't want to do that. I said, don't do it. What do you like to do? Right? Now, when you exhaust that, you need to get your business to level. You might want to get a little bit uncomfortable. I used to hate cold calling. Now I love it. I love cold calling. And by the way, the reason I love it is because most people are afraid to do it.
Yep.
I like that better than my sphere.
I do too. I used to hate it the first time, and then I go, you know what? What's the worst thing that they could say?
Hang up, that's it.
Hang up. Or no. But what happens is, in reality, is when you cold call using value, and you have great training and scripts, it's really not cold calling. When you're using the language of real estate to attract agents or in the business, I mean, there's so many different. Anyway, that's a whole other class. But I would start is commit to self-mastery and something that you like to do. Start there. What do you like to do? Is your database? People say, well, my database isn't big enough. Well, freaking go get bigger.
Yep.
Grow it. We have an e-edge, we have a system that teaches you how to go build your database, right? All that's in the training. All right. Be accountable. Who is holding your feet to the fire? Think about the time if you've ever had a trainer in a workout. Did they push you farther than you ever think you could go? Were the results worth it? Absolutely. This is it. Seek accountability. All right. Before I go into my last concept, I want to regroup here. 6 personal perspectives. Questions, comments, thoughts on this?
Can you describe you again?
Number 2 is committing to the 80-20 principle. So that means 20% of what you do, results, what you focus on, will result. When you focus on the right thing, will yield 80% of the results.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what you need to think about here is, really, are you spending time in your 20% that gives you 80% of the results? Or are you spending time in your 80% that gets you 20% of your results? Right? So if you're spending more time on vendors and bringing the deals together and everything, the reality is you're off balance. You're not maximizing your income opportunity. Okay? All right. Any other thing else on this? Does this help? Y'all like this?
Mhm.
Okay, where are we starting?
Self-mastery.
Self-mastery. I'm going to challenge Leanne. I'm telling, this is a teaching moment as a TA. By the way, you excited about her? Good. I am too. Let's go. We're ready. You want coffee? It's a fun group. I like this. But Leanne, I want to challenge everybody in this room. You have permission to, starting next week, hey, let me see your calendar.
I'll take the $100 check.
I'll take the $100. Seriously, you have it time blocked every single day for 2 hours or 30 minutes. If
Right.
you do, start off somewhere. Just make sure you do it every day.
Okay.
All right, I love it. Now, profit share. I want y'all to think about this. Now I'll use the 49ers as an example. Okay? Stick with me. We got about 10 I want to respect your time. I'm probably going to look back 10 or 15 more minutes and we're done. Profit share.
We blocked 10 till 12.
You blocked till 10 to 12?
Yeah, we're locking the door, you're not leaving.
We can keep going. We can, whatever. But I get it. I know how realtors are. Claudia, you like that? Yeah.
I think so.
All right. We'll keep going with YouTube. Now, but I want to go through this concept. 49ers. Who are the 2 most famous 49ers in the history of San Francisco football?
Joe Montana and Jerry Rice.
Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, hands down. Okay, let me ask you a question. Peter, you probably heard this. Did Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, when they were playing football, did they make more money throwing and catching a football in salaries and bonuses, or did they make more money in endorsements?
Endorsements.
Endorsements. Okay, how long have they been retired?
For a while now. Years.
Years, right? Okay. Do Joe Montana and Jerry Rice still make endorsement monies today?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So my question to you, everyone in this room, where's your endorsement money? No. If you were to stop selling real estate today, what money do you have coming in every single month for the business that you built?
The profit share.
Right. So what I'm trying to share with you is I want you to think about this. Keller Williams is the Nike of real estate. Keller Williams is on pace this year to share $140 million in endorsements back to the agents as a thank you for referring other good people to Keller Williams. Y'all understand that?
Mm-hmm.
That is like, now here's the deal on profit share. You don't have to do this. This is an opt-in thing. And the reason I say you don't have to do it, because what is Keller Williams' mission statement? Building careers worth having, businesses worth owning life. We are a real estate education, coaching, consulting company. But if you don't do this, to me, it's like saying no to someone giving you a $300, $5,000, $10,000, in some case $50,000 a month endorsement check every single month for the rest of your life. Now I'm good. I don't want that. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is equal. This is not a political statement. This is America. It's an equal opportunity, unequal result. that make sense?
Mhm.
So what it does is, so $140 million are going to be shared back to the agents. Now, how does this work? Okay, I just want you all to think. There's three things that have got to happen to get this gift. Now, by the way, the number one profit share earner in Keller Williams last year made close to $1 million. Husband, wife team. That's profit share alone. Okay?
Harkers?
No, it's the McKissicks, husband, wife. Now, the number 4 individual in Keller Williams last year made close to $400,000 in profit share alone. And he's only influenced 2 people ever to the company. You got the right person, right? Because you never know what's going to happen. I'll explain that in a minute. So one, Cheryl, like, and with Grass Valley, you guys moving forward there, what a huge opportunity. That's so exciting. But one is you have to sponsor someone to Keller Williams, meaning use your influence, use your reputation, new agents coming in. When they sign up to Keller Williams, Leanne's going to be trained on, when they sit in front of you, she'll ask the question, who is the person most responsible for you joining today? It's not your best friend. It's not who you're going to promise coach, who brought you to the table. In most cases, is who brought you to the training event. That make sense? When you use training as a leverage piece, you get it. Now, on this sponsor piece, anywhere. Let me explain. We have 700 franchises now, roughly, just under, in Keller Williams. So you could sponsor somebody in Roseville, Chico, any of the SAC offices, Florida, South Africa, London, Keller Williams, we're heading to Japan, North Dakota, Texas, anywhere we have a Keller Williams franchise. Does that make sense? So it's just not local, okay? And that's the power in this. Number 2, the agent must produce. It would be silly to reward and share profits by attracting non-producing agents. Does that make sense? By the way, there's real estate models that do that. That's dumb. You might as well have different splits or commissions because you're taking owner money. That just doesn't make sense. So they have to produce, they have to contribute to the profits of the office. Okay? Then the third thing is that office where that agent produces out of has to be profitable. What's fun about this? I believe this year 100% of all Keller Williams franchises will be profitable this year. Last year was 98%. Name another business where we're going to have 100% profitability across the board. Isn't that freaking, that's awesome. By the way, NAR said, this was 2 years ago, I don't know their numbers now, 2013, NAR said that 40% of all real estate brokerages made money. Isn't that crazy? Does our model work? Right? Agent driven, open the book, share profits. So when those 3 things happen, profit share gets triggered. Now, 3 other things on this, okay? I want you to understand. 1, it's willable. Meaning, as long as you're with Keller Williams for at least 3 years and 1 day, it's a business, it's an asset that keeps going on. So you can will it to your kids, you can will it to a charity, you can will it to whoever you'd like to, okay? So it's a gift that keeps on giving, so to speak. The second thing, you gotta understand, there's no money involved, meaning there's no risk. It doesn't cost you any money to get involved in this profit share program. So your first profit share check that you get, mine was $27 when I was 25 years old, just a couple years ago, in Dallas, Texas. I sponsored someone for the company. They sold a $100,000 condo. But I was more excited about that check than any business I had done before because I didn't do anything for it. And it got me fired up about a vision. Does that make sense? And then the third, and then it gets into, next thing you know, it turns into a car payment, house payment, kids' college. You have this asset that just keeps feeding each other. And then the third thing, here's my favorite part, is no management responsibilities. You're not responsible for training and coaching them. How cool. So it's like really truly owning your own business. your own franchise without the financial risk, liability, or the management of the people. Does that make sense? Gary Keller says this is by far, and I agree with him, this is by far the greatest passive income opportunity that someone has, not in real estate, but in any investment that he knows of. It's just through people. So my question to you is, how do you help you go get your unfair share of these checks coming in? Well, first, I'm not saying this because I'm in you, but I haven't seen a nicer, newer, crisp office in a long time. I love what I'm seeing here, by the way.
Absolutely.
Isn't this cool?
Mhm.
Is this the nicest house in town? It's gotta be.
Yeah, it is.
I'd be very hard pressed to say this isn't. Okay? So you've got the logistics, you got you've got momentum. Your language of real estate's good. You got fantastic new leadership in the end, right? We're excited. Got new TL. You got ownership that's all in. Great MCA. You've got, right? Well, you're okay, Justin.
Yeah. That was the best.
All right? You got great agents. I feel the energy here. Now, so how, they did a survey. What's the number one reason people join Keller Williams?
Training, education.
It's not even close. Number one is training and education. Number two is the culture.
Yes.
Number 9 and 10 is the economic split, which is, by the way, fantastic because we cap. And number 10 is profit share, because this is just the icing on the cake. This is just the cherry on the top. Okay, this is the dirty martini at Chico last night at 10 o'clock. Yeah.
No, you said 3 years, and what was it for, to be global?
1 day.
3 years and a day. I don't know why the day's there, but it's part of the system. Now, here's the last thing on the profit share that I'm going to close with something that everybody in this room can go do, okay? Profit share is, let me see, what's your name?
Heather.
Heather? How long have you been in real estate?
Been with, well, a little bit over a year, been with Keller Williams for a year.
For a year? Okay. So Heather joins the company, right? Right here, actually, I'm going to put this in the middle. Heather, who was your sponsor? Do you remember?
I think
Who, like,
it was 80, which
80?
is Cheryl's assistant.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. And how do you spell that?
Haidee.
Haidee. Okay. So Heather joins. Okay. Now, who's Hades' sponsor? Do you know? Is it
I'm
you?
not sure.
Okay. So let's just say it's Joe and KW Palo Alto. Just an example. So Heather does a transaction here in Yuba City. Okay? Yuba City profit that month. So there's going to be profits to share. So this transaction, well, this first level, your assistant sponsor would receive 50% of the profit share that was contributed by your production here. See, profit share comes from, not from the income, not from commission splits, it's coming from owner profits. So roughly 50% of the owner profits every single month go back to the agents. So just to keep this simple, Heather, let's just say you contributed $1,000 to the profit share pool in that one transaction. Well, Haiti would receive a check for the following month for $500. That first level is 50%. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, her sponsor would be 10% of $1,000 for a check of $100. And this agent here may have no idea who Heather is because they're in a different Keller Williams franchise, right? And then it goes 5%, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, where basically now it goes up 7 levels of agents in the Keller Williams system will be receiving a passive income check because of the great agent, Heather, here local in Yuba City. Does this make sense? You don't know where it's going to come from. Now, that's how it works here. Now, let's say, Heather, you get serious about this, and you start bringing people into Keller Williams. What happens is you can build it unlimited wide, meaning she can sponsor, everybody in this room has an opportunity to influence as many people to this company unlimited wide. But then it also goes 7 levels deep. So then you have an agent here that opens up Keller Williams Oakland. Or you have an agent here that goes and opens up Keller Williams Cabo San Lucas. I'm in. I'm in, by the way. Not kidding. You got, right? And then you never know who's going to bring a mega agent team over or get a business center. And next thing you know, you have this business or this asset. We have all these agents across the world or the United States. Each one depends on the office profitability and their production, and it comes up to a check that's deposited every single month in endorsement money on the 21st. And it just shows up. Does that make sense? And you can't stop this. Once you build this, you can't stop this train if you tried. By the way, don't try. It's good. Right? I'll tell you my story because I started as an agent on this deal. I only have about 20 people on my first level, but I have close to 250 now, 7 levels. And it comes on the 21st, I get a check that ranges from really good to great. Right? I basically, another way to look at this is how much money would you have to have in the bank? Let's say you wanted to make $500 a month in profit share. Let's start small. Okay? How much money would you have to have in the bank to receive $500 a month in profit share at 1%? How much, okay, how much is that a year? 6,000? 500 times 12? Yeah. How much money would you have to have in the bank to reach $6,000 in endorsement money a year? Just to start there.
600,000.
600,000. Okay? Yeah. So option A, wonderful agents, is I want you to go crush it the rest of this year and go save $600,000 and put it at a laughable 1% aggressive rate. Option B is help Leanne get to 100 associates with speed and with passion. And next year, when you do that, you go influence 2 to 3 people the remainder of this year, and you'll receive that same $500 a month with no investment, no time, very little time, just use your influence and asking people to join and come to the training, and no liability. I'll take option B, would you? Does that make more sense than saving $600,000? Now, when you do that, what happens to your net worth? Goes up. So not only do you receive passive income, you have an asset in a business. Your net worth as an individual is worth more. So like 2 or 3 financial things happen just by attracting someone to Keller Williams. Isn't that unbelievable? No, it's just, so I want to encourage you, take advantage of this. Now, the fact that you're in a local, smaller market and you guys are ramping is good because you have so much upside moving forward. Those who are in this class choose to do this and will look back a year or 2 from now and say, I'm so glad I had, wish I had it. You'll have no regrets because you have a chance to build this, to get this thing to different levels. Profit share. Go get your endorsement money. It's a gift. $140 million. How much of this do you want to participate in? Questions, comments, thoughts, anything on this? Now, I don't want to leave here without action item, and Leanne's going to get caught up and everything is what's your plan and strategy to go do this, right? If not, we don't leave this. It's just a fun little talk about some guy jacked up on coffee. Okay. All right. So get with the strategy. Get committed to this. I call it the +1. All right, I'm going to close with this, and then we're going to do Q&A. Everybody in this room, and this goes to profit share, could use this in a way to attract great people to this company. All right? Okay. How many of you read a book called Robert Kiyosaki, Cashflow Quadrant? Just one? Okay. 2? Never heard of it? How about Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Okay. Same book, roughly. Same concept. Now, this is the #1 book that Gary Keller recommends that he doesn't make money off of. Okay? That he did not write. Okay? He's read a ton, and they're all great. So if you can read this, and I read this when I was in college, and it changed my life. Okay? Here's how it works. There's 4 ways to earn money in this world, okay? Up here, for those who've read the book, we have 4 quadrants of earning wealth. E, what does that stand for? Employee, good job. There's an employee way to earn money, right? You work hard, you get paychecks, and congratulations, 50% of it goes to the government, right? Self-employed,
I've heard that.
it's sad. It's ridiculously sad. Self-employed, okay? S down here is called self-employed. Now, by default, where's the real estate industry in? Self-employed. Okay, up here, we've got a concept, it's called business owner on the right side. And down here, we have it's the fourth quadrant, it's called investor. Now, here's the deal. Studies show, Robert Kiyosaki at some speak in North Tahoe, this was 3 or 4 months ago, says 95% of the world operates as an employee or self-employed. Okay? 5% of the world operates as a business owner or an investor. Now here's the thing, here's the ironic thing. The 95% that operates over here earns 5% of all the wealth. So it's not even the 80-20 principle, it's 95-5. Isn't that interesting? The 5% who are business owners and investors means how much wealth do they earn? 95% of all the wealth in the world are those who have businesses and operate their life over here. Now, let me walk you through this. Okay. Here, employee. Employer-employee relationships. Let's relate this to the real estate industry. What are some companies that you would think are employer-employee relationship, or another way to do it, they're broker-focused? What are some models on that? Coldwell Banker? Would you agree?
Yep.
Meaning they want you to believe that their success in real estate is dependent on the company name. So what happens is, so you got right, it's been advertising money. You got Coldwell Banker, Century 21, I'll get to RE/MAX in a minute, ERA, Prudential, all the rheology companies, local boutiques, models, etc. In our region, we have companies down in the peninsula called Intero, Alon Canal, Lion Real Estate, right? Okay, all that, right. APR, no. Now, so you have the broker up here, and you have the agent down here. The thing with this model that's interesting, when you have that type of relationship, two things happen. One is they typically take a lot of what? Of your commissions. You're never capped, true, and that money turns around and goes back to the broker name. But remember, does the public give a flip? They advertise the broker, not the agent, and the public doesn't care. So they take that advertising, they're in control of your money, but they're also in control of what? Your leads. Your leads. Because they'll take these leads and turn around and sell them back to the agent through a reload department. Does that make sense? Okay? So when you have that, they're in control of your money, they call it your leads. Now, so that dominated the real estate industry from the 1920s, because that's where the Coldwell Banker started, and you see all these other companies kind of follow. Well, in the 1980s, what happened, there was a company that started in Denver, Colorado, and it expanded and attracted a lot of these top agents because they said, you know what, you just write us a check every month for $1,000, $2,000 a month, whatever, and we're not going to provide any support or training. You can go do your own thing. Good luck. And it was more like a landlord-tenant type relationship. What company would that be?
RE/MAX.
RE/MAX. You got it. Obviously, it's landlord-tenant. So it's basically saying, hey, we're going to rent you, right? I want to pay a check. I'm just going to have space here. So that came in, but you see why this came to a lot of the top agents. Like, I don't need training. It'll be more economic. Well, Gary Keller, so by the way, that's over here. In 1983, Gary Keller and Joe Williams said, what would it look like if we created a model in a company where we open the books, we share the financials, we share profits, and we have the agents have a voice in the decisions that are made that are best for everyone. And he wanted to create a model where we take a self-employed and employee-focused industry and operate our agents as business owners and investors. So him and Joe Williams founded the company, and Over here is where Keller Williams operates. And this is, let me explain how and why. So what he did was, he believes, in the early 90s, he developed what? Keller Williams University. And that's all the training and the education, along with a book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent that's focused on 3 things. For those who know the book and are engaged in our culture, what are the 3 things that separate, in our model, the best of the best? What do we focus on? What's the first?
Listings, leads, and leverage.
Yep. The first one is leads at the bottom. We got to teach our agents to commit to self-mastery on the lead generation thing. So they develop classes and courses like Bold, Ignite, all the other courses and models to help that lead generation is the game. You have to be in the business of real estate. Now with those leads, where's our focus?
Listings.
Listings. Because in our model, in our company, if agents work hard to get listings, where do those leads come?
Back to them.
Back to the agent, because we're advertising the agent in your cell phone, in your brokerage. And those listings, now you're getting all this extra business. In order to get to that next level, what do you have to do?
You have to be leveraged.
Make a great hire, and you get leverage. Well, Keller Williams has an exclusive class called Recruit Select that no other real estate company can do, because Gary Keller pays a check for $300,000 a year for us to be the only franchise that does it, because he believes in it so much. So now, we're teaching our agents how to be CEO and business owners, all based on this principle, okay? So it's taking a self-employed to think like a business, be a business, and when you do that, when you start succeeding through other people, through leverage, it allows you to do what?
Be an investor.
Invest in real estate, invest in a Keller Williams franchise, and open up a Keller Williams franchise. Other opportunities, if you want to be a team leader, if you want to be an owner, if you want to be a coach, if you want to be whatever. And we now operate, instead of over here on the old-fashioned side, Keller Williams treats our agents over here, and then the crowning jewel of our model, which is profit sharing, which is an investment with 0 risk, 0 liability, that's also owning your own business. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the question you need to ask people when you're or you're talking about our model, say, hey, help me understand. And they'll agree when you go through this. Which side of this cash flow quadrant are you currently operating on? And they're going to sit over here, say, well, where would you like to be? Right? Who specifically in your company right now is teaching you how to run a business like it will know? So what would it look like if I had Peter, if I had my wonderful staff, if I ever talk to you about the opportunities to help you get your business on this side and help you create wealth? Would that interest you? Great. Well, it'd be okay. We've got permission for Justin, Leanne, Peter to give you a call and talk about this great opportunity. You see, most people would rather be on the 5% earning 95% of the wealth than the 90%. Would you agree? Does this walk you? You all see this visual? This is the model. There's 2 types of companies. There's old-fashioned that operate over here, and there's Keller Williams that spends time over here. And we have the systems and models to help you get over there. Okay? Cash flow quadrants. Questions, comments on that? That help you?
Yes, and you're recorded, so.
Okay.
We're recording.
Okay. This is the game, team. So I'm going to challenge everybody to plug and play. Gary Keller's done the work for you. Peter's done the risk for you by being involved in opening this franchise, and wonderful cat. Like, you guys are on it. Love it. Great team and staff. Plug and play. Commit. Let the system do you, and let's get on this. Let's operate over here. Okay. All right. Questions, comments, thoughts on today so far? Water? Thank you. Anything you want to know about Keller Williams, where we're headed as a company, your opportunity and profit share, 6 personal perspectives, this office, Peter's vision, your office, I mean, we're here.
Yeah, we're
Let's
in
do
the
it.
Grove.
Anything.
We got our friends from Grass Valley, we're in the Grove.
So-
70 agents as a team for the first time in our history. That's a great.
70 agents, yeah. I love it.
with us. Oh, yeah. So, and we don't have any room to grow until we get more space, so I'm working on that, and I think I have something lined up. But how I came to Keller Williams is I went to my ferry thing in the summer in the desert in July, in Palm Desert, it was really hot. And I thought I was a pretty good agent. I was top in our community, I think it was 2004, and I had sold about $40 million worth of real estate, and I thought, oh, I'm really pretty good at this. So I went to this my ferry thing, and all of the top agents were selling way more. I was like nobody there. And they were from Keller Williams, and I never heard of Keller Williams. So I went up to a few of them and asked them about it, and that's what really made me decide to meet with Keller Williams and do it.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They talk about Keller Williams is that it's about who you become. And like they always say, Mark Wilson said, I mean, your success in business is in direct proportion to who you hang out with. You go to Mega Camp, I'll encourage everyone to start coming to our regional training events, and you're surrounding yourself with people who are doing $50, $100 million a year, or 300 to 400 to 500 units per year. Literally saying, and I know y'all brought a great group. How many were at Ben Kinney?
Yep.
Oh, was that valuable?
No,
Are
yeah,
you kidding me?
yeah.
Like Lily's saying, Ben's saying, here's my system,
Yeah.
plug and play.
I use one constantly now,
Yeah,
that 3%.
yeah.
Mhm.
By the way, y'all rocked it at Ben Kinney. Y'all were so fun. I loved it.
Well, you
Y'all
want
had
to
the
talk
most,
about
yeah.
mega camp and family reunion because a lot of our folks have never been. And
Okay.
so maybe talk about the value of those two.
Yeah, so Mega Camp's coming up in August.
Yeah.
First of all, it's in Austin. It's a great city.
Yeah.
Okay? It's Gary Keller for a day and a half, 2 days. And there's 12,000 of the top producing agents in the country come down there and listen to Gary. And he's interviewing, he's doing panels and systems. It's a great network opportunity. It's fantastic. Is it an investment? Yeah. But I'm telling you, if you focus on it, you get one referral from it,
Pays for the trip.
pays for the trip and some. And the business practices you can implement. It's not too late to sign up. Get to Austin. It's awesome. And then Mega Camp in family reunions in New Orleans in February, and that's our national convention. Every year it rotates different cities, but this year's it's in New Orleans. To me, you really can't understand the impact and the opportunity of Keller Williams until you get to one of those events. Just being honest, it's a game changer. Like I could come here and teach and do all this. You could do an amazing job here. Our regional events rock. I believe they do.
Yes,
Well, that's Peter.
They do. Yeah.
But it's get to our net and experience the energy at a high level, and the vibe, and the culture. I mean, gosh, you just said, look, I'm in North Sacramento area. You'll get referrals. Do it. It's a lot of fun. We'll have about 500 of our, we throw a party one night, and you can network with all the other agents in our region. So look at it. Get there. It's an investment. Don't look at it as a.
So the other thing about Keller Williams too, I feel like they're always very open about sharing their systems. And in other offices, everybody tries to keep their secrets to themselves.
Right. The reason, thank you for sharing that, because you're dead on, because the reason we do that is because we what?
Want everybody to.
We share profits. So when you share profits, everyone, and when Heather joined, people have a voice in helping her to succeed, because when Heather grows her business, everybody in this company wins. Everyone. Profit share checks are higher, profits are better. Peter, you have more resources and profits to hire more staff to help you grow. Does that make sense? So when someone joins, everybody in this office should celebrate. And then we should help them succeed, because everybody in the company wins, whether they're in your profit share tree or not. That make sense? That's why we're unique. So.
Yes.
Okay. It's 11:20. Anything else you want me to go over? Is this valuable?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Big
yes.
time.
Thank you so much.
I'll stick around for a little bit. You make questions, but enjoy your day and.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want all those papers. Please.